So before we get into the next game for you, which is the League Cup, some very good news. Jazz Casey has accepted. I wasn't really expecting this. It's only going to cost me £5 a week, which is even at this level nothing. Um, I'm going to accept it, and that means that we have got a really top player. He may end up. I mean, obviously I can't see everything here, but he could easily be the best player in the team. The one slight drawback is that it's probably not the position I need the most. I have Akinola on the left. Obviously, it will mean that my wings become easily my best area of the side. Um, Although Akinola admittedly has not had a great start to the season, he's certainly a very good player. And although I don't know everything about Casey, he does look like he could well be maybe even better than him. So at 17 years old, I think that's a really, really good signing for the future. Obviously, I'm hoping that when I say the future, I'm obviously talking about next season. I'm hoping that I might be able to keep him for a couple of years because Telford may not need him, but we'll see. Um, and but either way, that's really good news. We'll be back in a little while. As you can see, the game's saving now for the League Cup game, as promised. I've noticed in the last couple of videos the people are starting to watch this a bit more, which is great. Please do feel free to leave some comments at the bottom. Let me know how you think of how I'm getting on and also what you think of the videos. This is a North West Counties League Cup match, as promised. It will just be the one match today. As you can see, form has picked up a bit. We had this difficult start. We lost our first two league games and then got knocked out of the FA Cup, but since then we haven't lost a game. And things are starting to pick up a bit. So hopefully this will be a continuation of that. One of the reasons for that is because we bought a few really good players in, I think. So as you can see from this screen, a couple of people who really should, I hope, really turn this team around. One of them is Jack Walton. He's a central defender. Really nice attributes here. He's only 18 years old. His determination is quite low, so I doubt he's going to get hugely better. The mentals are certainly a bit of an issue, but alongside Wayne Cleaver, who we brought in earlier in the season and whose mentals are much better and is improving already, you can see some green arrows on this screen. I think that's now hopefully the basis of a very, very good defence, and he certainly made a decent start. To be averaging just under 7 in the defence is, I think, quite impressive, and it's good to see that improving. We've also brought in a few more players who I will take you through now. Ross Williams was one of them, who looks like a really good player, nice quick, decent crossing. Tim Akinola at the moment is playing so well that I felt I couldn't take him out of the team, even though I don't think he is quite as good as Williams. But as I say, he's in such good form. In fact, all my attacking players are, that I didn't really have much option there. As you can see, I'm still trialling lots and lots of players. I've just brought in this man, Andy Kanga, decent backup on the right wing, to our very, very good right winger on loan, Jazz Casey. He is suspended at the moment, but he will be back shortly, of course. As you can see, his attributes are very good. He's a very good player for this level, and I'm hoping possibly I might be able to extend his loan for another year at the end of this one. But we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we're going to have to take things 1 year at a time for the moment. But as I say, brought in some players who I hope have now given the team a bit more depth. There's quite a lot of players here who aren't playing at the moment. People like Andy Kanga, another player I've brought in, who, for a backup player, and he's probably a third choice backup player at the moment, is extremely good. I don't think he is a 4-star player for this level. My assistants are not perfect, but for a third choice right winger, I do think he's a very impressive one, and he might even be fourth choice after Ben Brown, although I'm not convinced. I've never been convinced by Ben Brown, although he's always done it. And someone like Ibrahim Bakare, he's now very much a backup, and for a backup he's pretty good, the physicals particularly. He's a really, really strong defender, so hopefully that is a very, very good player to have as a first choice replacement centre-back. So we're going to go on and play Denton Town now. Denton Town are playing in the North West Counties League Division 1 South, which means hopefully this should be a game we should win. But it is, as I've mentioned so many times in the past, this is the one place where we have a chance of winning quite a lot of cash. The FA Vars obviously is something that we can also get money from, but there are much better teams in this than us, and the money is not massive. We're talking about 1,000-ish per round, and I don't see us getting really to the places where that's going to start doubling and so on and so on. If we did get to the final, then that's 30 grand, but I don't think that's likely. If we start getting to the later rounds, then I might start thinking about live coming that. But at the moment, it's all about the League Cup as far as money is concerned this year. So we're going to go on and play the game now. Finley Hayhurst is going to be the captain. That presumably means I've got two captains out. As you can see, he's playing really well. Really good player here. Okay, he came in at the end of last year. Didn't actually play last year, but this year, a couple of people moving on, like Leask. He's come into the side and he's done really well. So I've been impressed by his performances. So here we go. East Manchester against Denton Town at our home ground, Alderhouse, which we are of course sharing with Atherton Collieries. That's still the case. We should be favourites here, so I'm going to tell them that we're favourites for a reason. And we're off. Wicks has the ball on the right, and that's a very strange ball. Not sure what, but Barragan's nicks it on the edge of the box, and he's managed to get a shot off, but no cigar there. Bright start. Akinola. Edwards will play our way out of trouble here. Nicely done, and Barragan has the ball. Walton through to nobody. Nice, really long highlights here, but Cleaver's got caught, but he covers his own mistake. That's good to see. He's going to make mistakes, Cleaver. He's very young. In fact, it's a very young centre-back pairing. We've got Jack Wilson here, who is 18, and we've got Wayne Cleaver, who is 17. So, combined age of just 35. Clearly, that's a little bit of an issue. I might be looking to get an experienced centre-back in later in the season, as they don't score because it's offside. I may well be looking to get an experienced centre-back in at the end of the season, but they are two very promising youngsters, and I'm hoping they might be able to form a really good partnership for the long term. Try to go a bit more positive, because I'm thinking at the moment we seem to be inviting a lot of pressure on. We've had a lot of shots on our goal, a couple of them from long range, but it's not ideal. Hopefully we can start taking the game to them a bit and getting the ball up the other end. And Barragan manages to put that away. Finley Hayhurst, who is on fire so far this season, assist after assist after assist. Another through ball into Barragan. A lot of these balls over the top. It is working very well, and it's something that I'm trying to exploit further as we go. And as I say that, they equalise almost immediately from a corner. Lost his man at the back post. That's a real shame there. It's not ideal. As you can see, we haven't had many shots. They haven't had many on target, but we haven't had many. We haven't had the best of this game, and for a game that we should be winning against a team lower down league than us, this is a shame. I tell players I'm a little bit unhappy. I want to see some more from them. And the second half is underway. Right, Matete is, I'm assuming it's Matete, I don't really know how to pronounce that name, but Matete is struggling a little bit physically, so I'm going to bring on Jack Gurney and switch him with Hayhurst, because he's generally going to be a more attacking player. And Akinola's not having a great game, so I'm going to bring on Ross Williams, who I am quite excited by, so hopefully he might be able to make something happen. After a very dull second half, it's been... Barragan goes through in the last minute, hits the bar. Literally the last minute, I think it might be the first highlight of the entire half. And in the last minute he hits the bar, and we're going to extra time, I assume. Possibly straight to penalties. I'm not sure. One last chance from a free kick here. Gurney swings the ball in, and it's held by the keeper. And we are going to extra time. Shame we couldn't win that in normal time. We probably should have done, but let's hope we can. I'm just going to make a substitution as well to keep the players fresh. Who can I take off? I'm going to take Finley Hayhurst. No, and Barragan's through again, and he hits the goalkeeper directly at the keeper there. He's had a lot of chances today, Barragan. Should probably have done better than this. And there's a cross, and Jefford puts it away. And it looks like we might be going out of another cup competition here. Barragan shoots again, and he's had a lot of shots today. He has scored once, but he should have scored more. I'm unsure about this rating. I don't think he's had an 8.3 really. Got to go for it now. Not much more I can do. Try and press them a little bit more, just get the ball back every time. Try and play a bit more direct. Get balls right up towards the strikers straight away. Everything quicker and over the opposition defence. Just over 10 minutes left. Williams picks up the ball. Mason, can he make something happen? Over to Edwards. Gurney. Hayhurst has the ball. He always makes things happen. Go on. Mason shoots. Can't quite get the ball on target. Slipping away. Slowly slipping away. Can there be one more chance? Doesn't look like it. This is probably going to be the end of match highlight, I fear. That is it. And North West Counties League Cup is over for another season. It's disappointing and a real problem financially speaking, because we are in a lot of debt at the moment.
a real shame to see us bow out at that early stage because it really was, I think, a chance to get a trophy again. Um, we have won once in the League Cup previously, and obviously we've won a couple of league titles. But this was a trophy that this year I felt that was very much winnable, and we've thrown it away at the first hurdle. I'm really disappointed with that. After such a good run of form recently, we started to really turn things around. That really is difficult to take. Right, I will be back. I don't know exactly when, because it will depend on who we're playing and when, how they're doing. But I'll be back sometime towards the end of October, I imagine. Possibly a little earlier, depending on how things go. I'm trying to make sure I keep up with the recording and want to get a few days early. So, as you've noticed, the videos have been a bit shorter recently, and I may well have them a bit close together. So I may end up doing one of these two. We played Oswestry Town last year, so I probably won't be using them. But maybe someone like Bootle. I want Northwich Victoria game is probably a game I would definitely want to live com. So because they're quite a big side, they're obviously falling from grace a bit. You can see they were in the National League until 2008-9, and then they've just steadily gone down through the divisions. And we had 2016-17, they were relegated into the North West Counties Premier. They did get promoted, but they've been relegated back again. So obviously, probably possibly the biggest team we've played so far in the league. So I may well come back for that game, depending on results and how things go elsewhere. But we'll see how that goes. If there's anything you want to see in terms of the squad, please let me know. As you can see, Finley Hayhurst suspended now, obviously, but he has been definitely our star so far this season, by some distance, I would say. Bought him last season, didn't really feature because I didn't think he was quite good enough. Clearly I was wrong, but we are going to need other people coming in. You can see Jack Harrison there. It is the same Jack Harrison we had a couple of years ago. Doesn't we can't afford him, essentially, is the problem there. We can't pay him enough to get him into the side. I can get Jazz Casey back though, so Jazz Casey will come back in for Josh Wicks in the next game. As I say, I'm quite pleased with the way things are going in the league at the moment. It's a shame about losing that game today, but I'm quite pleased about that. And whilst I still feel like promotion might be a big push this year, if we can finish in the top half and then push for promotion next year, then I'd be pleased with that. I'm not going to get promoted every year. I'm well aware of that. But as you can see from the finances, they are a bit of a problem, and that's probably the biggest source of income this season gone already. A few times now I've asked my board if they can get me a senior affiliate to get some money in. I wonder whether they might be tempted now. They're not to really help the club grow. Not worth it. I really think it's important. Come on. I'm not going to threaten to leave. I'm just going to say I'm disappointed, but I understand. I don't really understand. I can't see any reason not to. Okay, it might not be as good as I want it to be, but it's better than nothing, right? I can't really see anything much that I can do. I mean, I want to improve my youth recruitment, but we clearly can't afford that at the moment. There's not a lot else I can do to help with that situation right now. In terms of people I'm paying, sorry, it's not a huge amount of money. Wages aren't really the issue here. If you look at the expenditure, there we go. So the expenditure, some of the big ones are the staff wages, which have massively increased recently. I can't deny that. So that's obviously something that I feel is probably worth it. I wonder whether there's anyone I could get rid of on the basis that that's just a bit too expensive. I perhaps don't really think about staff wages when I'm thinking about that, because usually it's such a tiny amount. But let's have a look. You see, no one's being paid a massive amount. They're all being paid 50 or 60, so that's clearly at the moment just what we need to pay to get the kind of staff that we need. So there's not a lot I can do about that. There's this other. It's quite a lot of money as well this season. £77,000 on other. I wish I knew. Does anyone know what that is? If you know what that other bit is and why it's gone up quite a bit recently, it's obviously had a few peaks before, but never quite as much as that. Please let me know in the comments what that might be. Any way I can get that down. I don't think I can really reduce this hugely, although it did reduce a bit last month, which is good. But if there's anything I can do to get that down, then please do let me know. The income as well, obviously, is improving as well. And that must be that's obviously because we're at a bigger stadium now, so the matchday income has jumped, and that's why this, in terms of the actual balance, whilst it went down last month, it has been generally going in an upwards trend for a little while. But it is something we need to think about, because clearly yeah, we spent 70,000. That was partly also because we brought in a couple of transfers as well. I actually spent money, £5,000 on Sean Mullen. It was a mistake. Uh, he's in my under 23s. He's never going to make it. It was a stupid thing to do. I don't know why I did it. Might even see if I can recoup some of that money now. Actually, even if I can get 2,000 of that back, it'd probably be worth doing. So yeah, that was a mistake for sure. But I will be back sometime in either October or November with a further update. Please do let me know in the comments. I know there are more people watching this now. I've noticed my views have picked up recently. It's obviously a new channel. Please do support me. Let me know what you're thinking of the saves. Let me know what you think of the videos. I'm trying to improve them. My editing skills are still quite early on, but they're getting better. Just let me know what you think and how I can improve that. But you also let me know anything about my management style that you would like me to change or you think I should change. Anything you'd like to see in terms of information for the team, please do put that down and let me know, because I will respond. I read every single comment, and I will look out for that. For the moment, have a good day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.